Hi, hello, vanakkam, and welcome back to another interesting episode on your favorite Little Slaw YouTube channel. So today we're going to look about. So previously we saw about, the get and then the post requests, uh, and how to script them using Locust tool, and it was very interesting, and I got a lot of feedbacks and comments from you. Thank you so much for all your comments and your welcoming feedback. So today we're going to see about the put request session. So as I told you, we have now covered the get for reading and post for creating, and today we are adding the update to our skill set. And this is where things really, get really realistic, because users don't just create and read, they edit the data, they modify, and they refine the data, which we all know. So by the end of the session, you will understand what put requests do, how they differ from post, and why the resource ID matters, and how to validate updates and real user journeys combining the get, post, and put. So, firstly, I'll take you a quick overview on what is put. So before we dive into put, let's quickly remember where we are in the CRUD cycle, that is in the create, read, update cycle. So create, yes, we used post where we send new data. The server creates it and returns 201 response, and then we have got the read request where we have used get and we retrieved the existing data which returned 200 as a response code, and then we have used update. So today we use the put method which modifies the existing data, and this will return 200 response code. Let me quickly add a readme file so that when I update this, you will be able to see all this information. So readme.md. Yeah. So let me add. So as part of the CRUD life cycle, we have got create where we used the post method which we used to send new data, uh, and the server creates it and returns 201 response code, and then we have got the read. So in read we used get, retrieved existing data which returns 200 as response code, and then the update. So today we're going to see about the update part. So where we use put and it modifies the existing data, returns 200, right? And then the sixth line, which is delete. That's going to be the last session of this CRUD lifecycle where we are going to use delete. So most real applications use all these four, the CRUD life cycle. Then users create posts, they read them, they update them, delete them. So let's learn the update part now, and make sure you have. So we are in the virtual environment, and I have installed Locust. Yes, your code editor should open. Make sure it's open like this, and a new directory for the session. So I'm not going to create a new directory. Okay, let's create a new directory. What's harm in that? Let's create a new directory, and it's going to be put minus demo. I'm going to open that, and let me make sure that I'm in the right terminal. So let me open the terminal, cd locust, yep, and then cd put demo, yep. So now I'm into my put demo folder. So what's put? So let me explain what put actually means in HTTP. So post creates new data, the server decides the ID, you send the data, server says created, it returns 201 like I have explained now in the readme. But put updates the existing data. So you specify which resources to update using its ID. So you send complete new data. The server replaces it. It returns 200. So the key difference is the post does not need an ID, but the put requires an ID because you're targeting a specific resource. And think of it like the difference between post. So post creates a new document for me, and put replace the document, for example number 42 with this new version. So one does not need an ID, but one absolute does. That's the put. So let me show you the anatomy of the put request. So coming back to the put demo. So in the put demo, let me add a quick readme file. I'll show you what exactly happens. So put minus readme.md. Yep. So here what happens is the anatomy of a put request. So put slash posts slash 5. So now you have to notice two things. One is the HTTP method is put here. The HTTP method is put, and it's not post. The URL includes the resource ID, which is number 5. So comparing to the post, where we have, say for example, if it is a post request, right? So if it is a post request, it will just have posts, which means there's no ID in the URL like how we have this 5. So the server creates the ID and tells you what it is. So this post request will create an ID and it will tell you what it is. So this is critical because without the ID, the server does not know which post to update, which is we need a number, we need a ID to update, right? So for that we need to have this ID, but the post will actually create an ID, but the put will update or modify an ID, right? So that's the difference between put and post. I believe you must have understood by this time what is a post and what is a put. So let's I'll give you a complete put request here. I have just a code for this demo. Let me quickly explain that. So here I have a sample code. I'll just paste it for you. So okay, so this code, if you notice the line 1, this one here, which has the method, and then the endpoint with the ID, and then we have the host in line 2, and then we have got the content type, which is JSON, and then we have the blank line here, and then the JSON body with the complete updated resource. So I'm going to update the resource 5 with all the updated titles and updated body. So if you notice one thing, there are like one important thing. So the ID appears twice here, right? So the ID appears here in line 8 and then also in line 13. So the ID appears twice. So once in the URL path and once in the JSON body, but both should match. That's the critical point. And this is validation that this is validating that we are updating and updating the right thing, right? So now if we run this automatically, we should be able to get a valid response that it has been properly updated, and we should get a 200 response code. Now let's go to the code. So I'm going to create a locust file.py, and I'm going to create a first code. So I have my code ready. I'll just paste it here. Yep, and it's very simple. I have explained this multiple times. So it's from locust. I'm importing HTTP user task. It's to bring the task into the user, and then between for the thing time, and then I'm importing the random in case if I want to use any random values, I can use this random function. And now I'm going to add a very simple put task. Sorry. Yep. So now the task has been added here. So now let me break this code. So this is a task 1 waited, and I have got the post ID 5. So as I told you, the put needs to have an ID, and then I have got my self.client of put. So if it is a get, we're going to write get, and if it is a post, we're going to write self.client.post. And if it is a put request, we're going to write self.client.put. So this is a put request method, and then we have got the f posts and then the post ID. This is the URL with the resource ID, and then we have got the JSON, so the complete new data for the post. So this JSON includes the ID, which must match the post ID, and then we have got the title, we have got the body, we have got the user ID, and then finally I have did a print of this condition. So let me quickly save this file, and we are good to run this test. And yep, so the test has been the window is going to populate for us to execute the test. And I'm going to use a 5 user test in this scenario, and the spawn rate is going to be just 1. And then clicking on start, coming back to the VS Code. So here if you see, we have got the put update as 200. Yep, so which means the items are working successfully now. So success, the status 200 means the update is working fine. And now look at the Locust Web UI. So going back to the Locust Web UI, yep. So here we can see we've got 5 users every time, and this is where the post requests go, the count, which means how many updates, and then 200 is the status code for this test. The response time probably is around like the average, yeah, which is around like 80, between 80 to 150 milliseconds, which is okay. So great. We have first created our put request successfully, and it is working fine. So with that, I come to the end of this video, and in our next video, we're going to see the last step of the CRUD, which is the delete operation. So see you all tomorrow with our next CRUD life cycle, the deletion file, the deletion operation. So until then, it's bye bye from us, Shanmugam, and your favorite Little Slaw YouTube channel. Take care and bye bye.